We're live.
Michael, why don't you give us the good news, since I think we were all affected, but I think you took it especially hard with some of our last round of coffee.
We were all affected. Okay, so last time we did this, we had an African coffee and a Central American coffee, or South American coffee. South American coffee. Those, condense a long story, became the Harmony blend because we found that they were better expressed together.
Right.
In a harmonious union.
Harmonious name, exactly.
Yes. So this time around, it's been a minute since we've had 3 single origins as we originally intended, one from each coffee producing region of the world. So what we were trying now are the 2 companions to Bali. Bali has been kind of like the lone stalwart, just holding down the single origin fort for quite a while now. So what we have, and we don't know, Jimmy and I do not know what we're tasting when. Obviously, so we have 2 new coffees. The Central American.
Central American.
Okay. I'm exposing my lack of geography knowledge right now. Our Central American is a Honduras, honey processed. And the African that we went with is a coffee from Tanzania.
Or Tanzania for our British listeners.
Or Tanzania. We're going with Tanzania. So make of it what you will. Call whatever you want. Depending on how British you want to be.
Just like our infamous Colombia with a U versus Colombia.
Colombia.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing right now is we're tasting. So we have Mr. Christian Diaz took each coffee to 2 different temperatures. So there's 2 different profiles of each bean. So you took both of them to 420 and 430?
Yeah, so one of the beans, we did 2 temperature differences, going to 420 and then actually a 435. I was thinking maybe we can go and see how this does a little medium.
Okay. So that's what we're going to start off by trying the same coffee but at 2 different temperatures to give us a sense of what we like each coffee at roast level wise. And then from there we might do some other comparisons as a bonus. So there will be 2 comparisons. Then as a bonus, a 5th little flavor into the mix on its own. You tried reprofiling the Colombia honey process that is currently in the Harmony blend.
Yeah. Yep.
So we'll be tasting that to see if we can get anything different out of that, because to a certain extent, profiles are kind of set it and forget it. Once we find something that we like, you're not tinkering around with it.
Yeah.
We just kind of stick with what we like.
Yeah.
Once we find what we think we like. But this time we are going to re-explore it.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're going to brew really quick, and then when we come back, we will start tasting and see what we end up with.
600.
Yeah. Fun fact, Charlotte knew about Osmond before I ever told her.
Really?
Yeah, that's what captured me. Just kidding.
Osmotic flow.
I was like, oh my gosh, there's this new brew method Michael and Jimmy have been talking about, but I'm like really frustrated because I feel like my kettle's inferior.
Yes.
It's been around since.
She's like, I was like, what? Who is she?
Love at first flow.
Love at first flow.
What? It was the Japanese that popularized it, right?
Yes.
So I guess in terms of
Expansion.
do you think that factored in at all, Charlotte? Just being Korean and you're closer to Japan?
I think I was looking at Korean coffee videos,
Mm.
and there was like a barista who was introducing that method.
Okay.
So that's how I found out about it.
It's so interesting that there can be twice or 3 times on YouTube what you think there is, just based on what is available to you language-wise.
Yeah, that's true.
Like there could be a phenomenal coffee channel on YouTube, but if it's in Korean, like it doesn't even get
Yeah.
suggested to you,
Right,
much less
right.
what I click on it because
Right.
I just can't understand.
Let the tastings begin.
Right, it's the moment we've been waiting for.
Okay.
So, yeah, Michael mentioned this is a blind taste. We know it's either the coffee from Honduras or the coffee from Tanzania. We just don't know which one it is, and we have two different temperatures we are tasting.
Roast temps.
Rose says, okay, what do you think, what would your gut, Michael, be if you were to guess, without tasting or smelling the brewed coffee, which one do you think you would, just guess which of the roast temp would you like better?
Number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah.
From the smell.
Based on the smell, I would prefer number 2.
Okay.
But who knows? I thought it smelled a little bit more smooth, mellow.
Mm-hmm.
We have Crystal off frame. If you've ever been to the farmer's market, you've seen Crystal. Crystal, what would you guess, just based on the smelling of the two?
I don't know if you guys saw which bag I was smelling from, but
I think it was number 2.
number 2.
You had a reaction.
Yeah, you did.
Yes,
have
you
a
had a reaction. Was it positive or negative?
I think the number 2 I like better.
Okay.
According to smell.
According to smell.
According to
the
smell.
first one, I think it smelled like probably it was like roasted longer. So it had more like I don't want to use the word burnt, but I can't think of it.
Kind of
Sorry,
roasty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
roasty.
but more roasted smell.
Okay.
Roasty soy sauce-ish.
Soy sauces.
Which one, 2 or 1?
The first, the one that I set down and say smells good.
Okay. I don't know if I would have been. I was kind of indifferent to both. Of like, I don't know which one's better. So we'll see now.
So how about maybe we'll just pass the carafe around.
Yeah.
So
Everybody
maybe
everybody should have 2 cups.
everyone should have 2.
Yeah.
There you go, Michael.
Thank you.
And then
you
maybe
start.
let's start with, you want to start with 1?
Sure.
Let's start with 1 just so I don't forget. And then maybe everyone pour it out.
So are we doing, like what? 1 on the left, 2 on the right, or each
Sure.
individual person?
Yeah.
Just so
Yeah.
we can all compare.
Yeah.
1 on the left,
2 on the right.
And this is one.
Yes.
That's 1. Charlotte has 1.
1 on the left.
1 on the left.
Got it.
Should you pour me 1?
Got you, bro.
You guys want to start with 2?
2's on the right.
Okay, so we did a 1-to-15 ratio, kind of like how we've been doing at the farmer's market. If you've had our pour over, 1-to-15 ratio, 40 grams of coffee, 600 grams of water in, at a 206 temperature. And for all those who like Celsius, that's 96 degrees Celsius. I've actually had that asked at the farmer's market.
Actually,
Respect.
this week, right?
Last
What is that in
weekend.
Celsius?
Yeah, he's like, I just remember it better. And I was like, we're in Virginia.
But he was like, 0 is freezing, 100 is boiling.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah,
Like, okay, you got it.
it makes sense.
Okay, 1 is on the left, 2 is on the right. Thank you, Charlotte.
Sorry, I was a little bit heavy-handed on number 2. But
Maybe I'll keep this here.
Yeah. We blitzed after this.
It's okay.
It's caffeine vibing. Okay. Okay, nobody say anything. Don't affect.
Everybody
Don't
shut
manipulate
up.
everybody. Mind your business.
Be quiet.
Yeah. Just because as soon as one person says, I kind of get a,
Yeah,
it's
for
easy
sure.
to chase that.
Yeah, the power of
Right,
suggestion.
exactly,
is
very real. So once you have either physically taking notes or come up with your mental notes, then we'll discuss.
Okay.
Nathaniel requested a slurp, so let's just give Nathaniel
The man who wants.
as he's driving his UPS truck. in his headphones. Curious to see how this evolves in 45 seconds to a minute as it cools.
Absolutely.
For anybody who wants to do tasting at home, it's a quick little trick. You can just brew whatever preferred method you do, but it's kind of hard to do if you think about it too much. But if you slurp a little bit and then hold it in your mouth and tilt your head back, it kind of hits all of your palate at once. Because when you're kind of leaning with hot drinks, you kind of lean and then just come normal. But when you put your head back, instead of you drinking it, it just kind of flows back and lights up different parts of your palate. Whether it's a sweet, sour, you feel it more heavy on the center of your tongue. That's how you kind of describe, body, for example. Does it feel heavy? Does it feel light?
On your tongue.
Right.
Yeah, the texture of it.
And sometimes when you let it sit, especially you'll light up the sides more, or the back more.
Right.
Or you're getting sweet, sour, citrus, all those sort of things.
It's really peaceful, honestly.
Yeah. This is our ASMR episode.
Yeah.
Peaceful slurping.
Conspiracy is ASMR.
Yeah, the title would be 2 hours of peaceful slurping.
You guys ready or?
Well, I thought I had it, and then now that it's cooling down, kind of switching.
Should we discuss part 1 and then come back to it after like a minute and a half, 2 minutes?
Okay.
Taste a little bit more, and then if our thoughts change at all.
Which one's on the left?
One.
Do you think it's changed from yesterday?
Well, we had one of these this morning,
Okay. What do you guys think?
but they were
Are we ready
Yes.
to discuss?
Yeah. Who wants to start?
Christian, you've had the most experience tasting this. You did a cupping, and you had some this morning.
Yes.
So what do you think?
You want to know my preference or?
Yeah.
I think I still prefer one. To me, one was a little milder than two, but there was something in one that caught our attention that two did not offer.
Mm-hmm.
Should I just say it?
I mean, I've already written down what I think,
Yeah.
so I don't think you're going to.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
My initial reaction was two. Now I switched to one.
Yeah.
And I've notated
So
that.
so one, and Charlotte pointed this out as we were cupping, and then so we did pour overs yesterday. Also got pretty lit in the afternoon. But yeah, one offers more of that tarty fruit that the farmers and the ones they say that this bean has. So I was getting more of that tart sweetness that was kind of just, to me, possibly roasted out the further I went.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a little more body, but more tart and interesting flavors. So
Okay.
for number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, my initial taste was this one had more body. I put this one as flats initially. So then I automatically thought, well, maybe my preference is going to be two. But then as it cooled, this one just took off. It's like if they were starting a race. This one seemed, and all of a sudden,
Bro, turbo lag.
yeah, exactly. Like that one just took off. Even right now as it's cooling, it's, I think, pretty fair to say it's, leaps and bounds sweeter and fruitier than two.
I haven't tasted this in a couple of minutes. I'm actually curious what it's going to taste like now that I've let it sit, because sometimes it does evolve that quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I agree. So I reverse. I thought the two smelled sweeter and lighter. The grounds did. But I think that one, I mean, color-wise, I'm noticing it. I think it looks a little bit lighter, a little bit more slightly like an amber tone to it, more than this one looks a little bit browner to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading into things that aren't there, but that's just what I see. I think that one was definitely more mellow, and almost got, I just like a very vague like papaya vibe. Papaya is like very smooth on the tongue, more than other fruits. Like a berry is more juicy, but I don't know. Papaya is just very smooth. Kind of have that. I don't know if it's necessarily the flavor as much as the feeling of it.
Yeah.
And then, number two was definitely bolder, but it just had a little bit of a more flat texture to me.
Yeah.
Just which is what you would expect if you got a typical dark coffee, and it only has a little bit of that, but just the kind of more flat
Yeah, it became to taste a little more common.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, then it's not unique anymore.
Mm.
And then that's... So actually, we, too, by smell and initial smell and everything, too, was preference.
Okay.
And I brewed and I was like, no, something's not right here. So I referred back to the notes from the producer.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, did we just get gypped? And she's like, no, I smell something in number 1. And so we went back and brewed 1. And
Nice.
surely, yeah, I think 1 started to shine.
I mean, right now, as it's cooled, I would venture to guess these weren't even the same beans. Taste them side by side as cool they are now. It's completely different.
Yeah, they are very different. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. We all kind of like 2. Even the initial body, like I just immediately just said flat for 1. Flat, it's flat.
Yeah.
Then it took off.
Everyone was
Turbo lag.
everyone was smelling the 2 grounds and was like preferring 2, but Charlotte and I were like,
Yeah.
just wait.
You don't even know.
This is a half-mile race.
So what do you guys think overall? Let's just say, what do you think of number 1?
Yeah. I like it.
You like it?
Do you know what coffee it is? Would you say it's Tanzania or Honduras?
I hope that it's Honduras, but I don't know.
The big reveal? Or should we wait until we taste the other one?
Well, I mean, we waited for this. We might as well wait for the second
Okay.
one, right? Otherwise, it defeats the purpose.
Okay, so we'll get back to brewing.
Yeah.
Yes. While we're here, though, is there anything that you would do different with the roast, having tasted this now a couple of times? Things that you want to tweak? Like, do you want to go lighter with it? Would you like to spend a little bit more time in one stage of the roast to try to tweak anything or revealing anything that you think might be in the bean? Or are you pretty happy with how this particular one came out?
I was pretty happy, I think, in terms of its target temperature. Its profile, I was trying to lean on the slower side, which I was able to do more controlled with the smaller batch. It's interesting. The machine acts differently on the lower temps than it does on the higher temps.
Oh.
So it's something I'm like trying to get the swing of. But I thought it was pretty normal. The bean is speaking for itself under our normal circumstances.
I feel like if we went any lighter with it, it would lose even more body. Right?
Yeah.
And it's already a pretty mellow cup.
Yeah, we wanted a mellow daily single origin.
Right.
That was like one of our thoughts, right? Like
Right.
some are great for the occasion, but some are you just want as a daily driver.
Right.
Like the Guatemala we had about a year and a half ago.
What would you say, is there, okay, with, you brought up the Guatemala. With the Guatemala, it was, if there's one word to describe it, it was always peanut butter, right? It seemed like that was one of the flavors, at least for me, that's what I remember, is peanut butter. There were other flavors in there for sure, especially on the finish, but overall it was a peanut buttery coffee. What would you say is the defining flavor of this one?
Let me try it again. This is one.
Yes, that's one.
Defining flavor.
And you can chime in if you'd like.
Any fruit that comes to mind?
It's a very interesting fusion between like cashew almost and maybe a hint of lime, maybe just like
Should we just pause it here and then go to the next one?
Yeah, I guess we can start brewing. It'll take some time
Okay.
to reflect.
Reflect on it.
Yeah.
All right. So to be continued. As far as thoughts.
Are definitely in the fruity side of things.
Currently, right now, I feel like it's more a mellow nuttiness than it is fruity to me. Currently, but I mean, as it degasses more, that could change. As I don't know, it's just coffee is so changeable and kind of ephemeral, you know. Do you feel like it's really fruity?
I think.
Doesn't sound like really.
I'm getting sour side.
Okay.
Like it's lining up the sour.
Okay.
I just can't pinpoint like a fruit
Mm-hmm.
exactly. It's
Okay.
more sour.
You want a hint?
Now I'll reflect.
Okay.
Charlotte's like.
It's fun when you know all the answers.
Yes.
It was funny because it was quite a moment last night. We just kind of tasting, and then I was doing my own thing in the kitchen, and he was like, "Wait, we have this fruit in the fridge, right?" And I'm
Oh.
like, "Yeah."
Do you have any left?
Papaya? That's what my
Do you have any left? I think I got it like popped.
Really? Do you want me to wait? Do you want me to save this or what?
Sour fruit.
Are you quizzing me?
No, I want you to see if you can find that. Now that the power suggestions hit you, but maybe.
So taste it.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you like. I've got something in the fridge. Go grab it.
I don't think I do, but if I. No. Not citrus. I'll give you that.
Can
I don't
we-
think it's citrus.
Can we rinse these? And then we'll dump these as
Then
well.
A grinder purge.
Were you thinking green apple?
Well, I would take the cup. We'll just one at a time or something because it'll drip.
Green.
Okay.
Sour.
Okay.
Sour fruit.
I wonder if this would be good with apple pie.
Ooh, apple pie would be clutch with that. Like a sour apple pie.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see how the cinnamon would mix with it.
Okay.
You're still gonna ruminate? I'm all out.
I'm all out too.
Yeah.
We'll, drink this daily for a little bit.
Right.
I was getting the same thing.
It was sour, but it wasn't like in your face yet for me.
The
It
word
started
is tart.
tarts. There you go.
Tart.
Okay. You know what's cool though is that it's still a very young coffee,
Yeah.
so it could evolve a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad we have a full
Intensify.
48.
Yeah.
We have a full 48 out, which is nice. But
Right.
you're right. The Bali, what would you say? It should try it at least.
5 or 6
Yeah.
days.
Do 3 and 4.
We were when was this? Last week it was May. What was the date? Today's June.
Thank you.
Anyways, we were drinking something that was roasted on the 12th. We were drinking it in the late 20s. So it was
We're
like
woo.
over 2
Yeah.
into 3 weeks old, and it was really firing on all cylinders. So yeah, Bali is definitely a late bloomer.
Yeah.
You almost want to tell people when they buy a bag if it was roasted in the last day or two, like, just wait
Yeah.
if you can.
Yeah.
Especially people at the farmer's market, when they even get it as a pour over, it's like, just wait, just hold on 2 minutes
Mhm.
before you drink it.
Right.
Are there any particular notes in coffee you for sure like?
Are there any particular notes of coffee that we know we for sure like? I guess it depends on, like, I've learned to appreciate certain origins for what they are. My natural, like, okay, you dropped me off in like a grocery store. I knew nothing about any of the roasters. I would probably lean to a more Central or South American coffee. Just that's what I would default to. But in doing all of this, I've like rediscovered the awesome taste in like Ethiopian coffees, especially the Kenya that back when it was still Cherry House, the Kenya that Christian was roasting way back when. That was like it was almost like, is this even coffee? It's tea. Would I drink that every day? No, but I like really liked it as kind of a unique thing. So, yeah, my natural affinities towards Central or South American coffees, because I also like lattes. And you definitely want to take those. Probably, Brazil, for example, it could go dark. But yeah, I think we just look for what does that region have to offer. And are you getting the best taste that you get from that specific region? Like Bali to this day, I don't think can any of us really confidently say what the notes in Bali are that we like.
No, they're very unique.
Super unique. It's like, how do you get on our bag? Like forestry? It's like we just came up with that because it's trees, but it doesn't taste like bark or trees. It's a unique thing. So yeah, sometimes you can't. Put
I mean, when we were
words.
tasting it, like tomatoey. No, we can't say that because it doesn't sound pleasant, but I don't know, the certain type of acidity, mellow acidity that tomatoes sometimes have.
The smell, like I get definitely tomato, like bisque or soup.
Yes.
You're like, okay,
Right.
yeah, but put that as a note. I don't know.
Might be a turn off.
Clam chowder.
Right. Clam chowder.
Yeah.
Are these brewing differently from one another, or did you start before?
She just has a more steady arm than me, probably.
You're like, let's go.
I don't know what happened.
It doesn't matter. I was just curious. I wasn't paying full attention, so. Nice. So you guys are at what, 3-ish minutes?
Yeah, it's about 3
3 and a
minute brew.
half?
His was 3 minutes. Yeah.
Yours like 3.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty close.
Standard deviation, plus and minus.
30 seconds. So we'll start with what Charlotte brewed.
Okay.
Hers is number 3 and mine's number 4.
So we go 3 on the left,
4 on the right. Yeah, 3 on the left, 4 on the right.
Already caffeinated.
It doesn't feel like you're drinking a lot, but
Yeah.
somehow it just hits.
Yeah.
3 on the
3 on your left. Do a little swishy swish.
Swishy swish.
Okay, I was just going to ask if you guys do that, because
Yeah.
I'm like super particular about doing that, but I don't know if it makes
Well,
a
even when I
difference.
pour, I think we all do this. When I pour drinks,
Yeah.
I divvy it up.
That's what I do.
Yeah, just because you're like, yeah.
Because I've always thought it makes sense that different flavors come at different times of the brew, and so it probably is
Slightly
stratosphere.
later. Yeah.
A little bit.
not mistake when it turns into a learning moment.
Oh, straight pour.
Oh, no, sorry. That wasn't even like a subtle call out. I was just, I was kind of more wondering if that was something that
Michael's like,
weird
what I
thing that I
can't
did.
stand.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
when people.
People don't stir their pour overs. They just give me all the light-bodied stuff on the top, and they take all the stuff on the bottom.
Pretty much drinking water.
Yeah, grinds my gears. Thank you.
Okay, you want to take, this is number 4. I did a little swirl.
Little swirl.
Honestly, my favorite for swirling post brew is Chemex.
Oh yeah,
Because it's secure.
epic even. Yeah.
So I'll go on your left.
I've spilled so much hot coffee on my hand. It's painful.
Worth it.
Oh dude, yeah, especially in the espresso bar.
Oh,
Yeah, this was a burn right there.
bro.
Yeah.
Dude, I heard it a few times yesterday.
The steam wand.
You like yelling, hot.
Yeah.
Like the tip of the steam one? Because everywhere else is non-hot.
Well, I mean, once you first steam, it still gets.
It's still pretty hot.
Yeah, but the tip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Indeed.
Ooh, dude, we gotta show you the trailer lights.
I heard that from your dad that you zipped by on a bike, said the lights are ready, and he came over and no one was
You're
ready.
pedaling fast. The lights are done.
The lights are done. You must have been fast because you were right when I was leaving. You were just opening it up to show your folks, and I saw my parents 20 seconds
Yeah,
after that.
yeah.
And
Well, I wanted to show them that spot before, like with adequate sunlight.
so were they able to get out of the car? You showed it to them, and you guys left.
Yes, and I was like, "We'll see you again when we get back, so I'll show Gab." So I was like, well, I downplayed. Show them the lights. I was like, "We'll look at it again because it'll be darker." I
Okay.
wanted to show them that Wells Fargo.
Okay.
3 on the left, 4 on the right.
Okay. Will my nose deceive me again?
Again, we don't know what we're drinking, but they're slightly different roast profiles.
Okay. Same coffee though.
Same coffee.
Ooh. Ooh.
This is so fun.
Okay. That's wild.
It's like the audio definition of gleeful in the dictionary. I'm trying to get a point of reference for this because this has some flavors that I'm somewhat familiar with. I'm trying to remember what from. Should have brought my little Bilotti espresso glasses and some sparkling water
Yes.
next time.
Oh yeah, to
Just to really help
We need to do
cleanse.
more cuppings just in general, but yeah.
cleanse our palates. Yeah.
Okay, I will just say that this is a harder decision. It's a harder decision than the last one.
Between the two.
I feel. Also, I taste flavors like peeking out that I feel are going to manifest in
A day or
2 or 3 days. Yeah. Like they're there, but they're not fully expressed.
Really espresso.
Espressoed.
Well, these would taste wild as espresso.
Just a little over minimum.
All right. What are you thinking? All right, talk.
Yeah. Shall we do it in the same order? Christian, you want to start?
So, after our cupping sesh yesterday, Charlotte and I decided that, man, that's loud.
It's really loud. It's like cavernous.
I just let it get to temp. But Charlotte and I decided that we preferred and wanted to go further with tasting number 3 based off our cupping.
Okay.
Do you guys have a preference?
Yes, I put 3 as
3?
well. I feel like if this was, if we were ever to come up with like, not that we would, you know how like Starbucks has Christmas blend or holiday blend,
Mhm.
that's what came to mind. They put cinnamon, nutmeg, pepper, brown sugar, and vanilla notes, kind of like that more on the spicy side, like spices, as far as tasty notes.
Mm-hmm.
And that was brighter in 3. 4 was still good. I think 4 was better. The second roast profile was better than the previous coffee second roast profile.
Yeah.
I think.
kind
Kind of like I said, it's hard to put down, but I think I lean towards 4. I just got more of a brown sugar. It's like a general flavor notes. 3, there's more of the nuance of like kind of like. There's a point where I felt like there's a cinnamon stick in the coffee, and a little bit of a nutmeg. And it's kind of like vanilla, not like oak, but more just pure vanilla-ish in 3 as opposed to 4. And I think because 4 is, I'm assuming it must be the darker one.
Yeah, slightly. I didn't go as drastic on this one.
Okay.
This one I was playing around with the time spent in first crack, and so whether it was a slow rise or a fast rise.
That probably is why it was harder than the first one.
Yeah,
There's a
these
wider
are
margin.
closer. Yeah, the
Yeah.
other one was a 15-degree margin. These are about 6 or 7 degrees.
That's pretty cool to know. Notate. But even 6 or 7 degrees yields.
Yeah, you can find something.
Yeah.
Even yeah. What do you think?
I'm with you all. I think I prefer 3. There's something in the middle of this that I like, a flavor that I kind of like in this. So like overall, this is more of the full package. 3 is the lighter roasted one, but there's something. It's not the initial flavor. It's not the end note that kind of like fades at the end. It's like that middle, and it's even across the middle of my palate as well that I kind of like about
4.
Yeah, it's just there's not as much going on, but there's that one flavor that
So maybe you're missing a little bit of the body.
perhaps.
Yeah.
'Cause I think this has a good body flavor. It's just lacking some of the like ancillary things to make it more of a full cup that you'd want. I don't know how you reconcile those two, but
Yeah, this one I'd be curious to work on its profile.
yeah, absolutely. I think with a tweak, you might be able to get the best of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is pleasant even as it cools.
I don't think we need that one.
Even as this cools, I'm not getting any of the roastiness that I was getting with the darker roasted, what I'm assuming is the Honduras, so the first one that we tried. Like, this is still pleasant. 4 is still pleasant, even as it cools. Whereas when it cools, certain things start to become more obvious. It's like when they're warmer, they're more similar, and then they start to diverge the more they cool.
Yeah.
This one is still, it's diverging, but in not a bad way.
Yeah.
I would like to try like a vanilla almond cluster with cinnamon sprinkled on top as a pairing for this.
Wait, what did you
Like,
want to try?
vanilla,
Yeah.
shaved almonds,
Okay.
and a little bit of like the crunchy,
A vanilla
and then
almond.
some cinnamon sprinkled on top. I feel like that would be like based on what I'm preliminary tasting,
Yeah.
a perfect pairing.
Okay,
Kind of
so-
like we did with Harmony, with PB&J. Like,
Yeah.
it just seems like it's going to hit all those fronts.
So would you say there's any fruit in there? And what would you say is the main underlying flavor? Because that's interesting. Most of what you mentioned are spices.
That's what I'm personally smelling and tasting more of, spices than fruits on
Because
this one.
It's interesting. Most of the time you think about fruits, nuts, things of that nature when there might be like the spices present there,
Yeah.
but the main things are either fruit or not, or maybe both
Yeah.
at different times in
Yeah.
the temperature. But you're describing exclusively spices.
Yeah.
When I was doing both beans, so all 4 of our bags we've done so far, side by side smelling, this one stood out to me as I think I said it out loud, a fruit punch yesterday. So we are trying to describe, I'll just tell you what I got. I was like saying like grapefruit, like that kind of fruit punch. But this is also in comparison to the other coffee, where the tart sweetness is different from this grapefruit sweetness.
How do
Like
you
grapefruit's not sweet,
Right.
and but it's not tart either.
It's almost both sometimes.
Yeah.
That's what makes it fun, because it kind of tangs your palate. I know that's not a word, but it tangs your palate. It's like, ooh.
It surprises
But then it's
me.
sweet.
Yeah.
It's cool. How do you think this would taste with a cherry?
Do we have cherry?
I don't
I
know.
think we do.
Do you? I don't even know if it's cherry season. For some reason, when you said cherry, or when you said fruit punch, I thought, oh, fruit punch. Fruit punch is kind of maybe this is not what you meant, but it's just what sparked in my mind is a cherry flavor
Cherries.
I mean, to me, it was like a meld.
of numerous fruits.
Yeah, but like it smelled significantly sweeter. It smelled and like I thought I was drinking fruit punch as a kid, kind of thing.
So we want to taste that one, right? I guess it doesn't matter. That it should be close. Can I get more 3, please?
Okay,
Thank
I
you
think
very
I'm
much.
sensing this taste right here. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Charlotte, would you pass me the craft?
Not a clash.
Thank you.
Not a clash at all.
Yeah. Okay, so yesterday I straight up ate a green apple with the last bean. She experienced the non-clash because I told her to try the other one with the green apple. She's like, bleh.
Clash.
And we haven't had a green apple flavored coffee, like note. So every morning we eat some green apples. I don't eat the apples till I'm done drinking my coffee. But this one, the one we had earlier, I felt like I could. I'm getting
You
that
ate it
milk.
with apple?
I ate
Those
it
are
with
good.
the green apple, yeah.
I wish we had an apple. That would work.
But this is
I like the cherry.
no.
I like it as well.
Yeah.
What about with number 4?
Try it next.
Try it with more.
Would you guys try cherry?
I tried one.
What do you think? Yay, nay, sort of?
I wouldn't say clashed, but there's a slight bitterness to cherries. Like that was brought out more.
The bitterness? Okay.
Which could
No, it's
be the
good.
bitterness of grapefruit too.
I was thinking that when you said grapefruit, like I would say one of the main flavors of grapefruit would be bitterness. So there's like, it's not an unpleasant bitterness, but it's there.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think there's like that bitter undertone.
And that can be what, sometimes the bitterness is what makes the sweetness satisfying, is when you have that, what would you call that?
Tannin.
Yeah, or not the clash, but the counterpoint, you know, it's like a pleasing counterpoint to one another. Okay, so for 3, cherry kind of works. We would like to try grapefruit with it.
Yeah.
And what else? Is there anything else that might be fun to try with?
I want to make some type of like spice cluster of some sort. Like
Oh, yeah.
We did it with the brown sugar and cinnamon with the pecan, and it worked before. Some type of way to try spices. You just taste the raw spice. It's not going to be good. You have to mix it with something.
Okay, so what you were the
I was
first thing you
leaning
said
towards
was
cinnamon, nutmeg, and pepper.
Get the cinnamon chai. I mean, the summer chai.
Summer chai. Sure. There's a lot of spices in there.
cinnamon, nutmeg. Did you say almond, vanilla?
Pepper and vanilla. Yeah, I was thinking of like an almond cluster. Vanilla almond cluster.
Okay, what might be interesting is if we get almonds, cashews. What would be another nut?
It's usually for coffee.
Yeah,
Pecans.
pecans. So if we got those,
Yeah.
and then we got green apple, grapefruit, and just, I feel like most coffees have some sort of nuttiness in them, like maybe more or less. Like some Africans are not super nutty, but they might have, I don't know, just tease out what's in there.
Yeah. Secondary notes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we both agreed Honduras. I put Honduras the first one. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Sweet.
Ding, ding, ding.
So as single origins, I'm pretty excited. What do you think?
I'm also excited. I'm excited to wait a few days because this is only pretty short after roast.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we have some winners here. These are actually pretty good.
Yeah,
I feel.
exciting and a relief.
I was like really nervous yesterday.
Especially when you didn't respond. I was like, what's going on?
Oh yeah, when I say that picture. Intentional.
Yeah. So last but not least, the recalibration of Aponte. Did you try it?
I didn't try it. I only have 4 bowls to cup.
Okay.
But we'll see. I was reading up on it and I experimented on it when we roasted. Taking the roast slower and then trying to see if we can go longer, because honey process can have like that dried mucus shell of sugars. And I was trying to see how you can caramelize that. And I took both slow, but I took one further than the other, the 435. I took this one, I think, to 430.
Okay.
So we'll see. Because I don't think I ever tasted it on its own at 430.
So you roast it to what?
If it becomes a winner, how awesome would that be?
That'd be
you
fun.
had to sleep for this entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, with Harmony, it's great. I think that's why we do enjoy the fact that
thank you.
Harmony Blend has been my daily driver
Oh, for sure, yeah.
with Bali in conjunction there. But yeah, it's been great. But to have it on its own, yeah.
Number 5, please. Yeah, I just want to upgrade this one.
Number 4, still hanging on. The flavor's still good.
So do you guys like them? This is my first time having coffee from Tanzania.
So far, so
I
good.
think no, I've had a pea berry a long time ago.
From Tanzania?
Yes, Tanzanian pea berry.
Do you remember
I
anything about
being
it?
pretty good, but at the same time, that was also the era of dark roasted. So it was a dark roasted Tanzanian pea berry.
Okay.
So I don't give much credence to my thoughts pre 2016.
And do you remember anything about it? Or you just
I
remember that you liked it?
Remember, I liked it. I'm like, oh, this is pretty unique. You know, like not your typical Central South Americans, or your typical, like, again, Yirgacheffe, you hear Yirgacheffe, you can almost guess it's going to be one of these 3 different kind of berries or something like that. Or being kind of unique.
Mm.
Yeah. Kind of the similar fashion of Bali for me when I first tried Bali.
You didn't know it didn't fit easily into a certain genre, but you liked it.
I didn't like Bali at first, remember?
Oh, you did. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. We're like, really? We're going to stick with Bali? The numbers, fine, people.
Yeah.
But then it grew on me. Definitely grew on me. You got familiarity, I guess.
We have some well-palated customers.
We do. I can eat cherries. Cherries are so good.
Yeah. I love all cherries, but Rainier cherries are my favorite. How was the experience of cupping yesterday compared to what we're doing here, which is not technically cupping, you know?
Yesterday was more like kind of intense.
Yeah.
I think.
More technical.
Yeah, like teaching me how to slurp and then just think and just take notes.
Yeah.
That was my first experience, first time doing that. And I was like, I don't know what I'm tasting.
Right.
But it was fun. It was cool.
As far as getting flavors, do you feel like you got more out of yesterday or today, or just different?
I think I was just more focused yesterday.
Okay.
So I got more yesterday. But then it's cool tasting today too. It tastes better for sure with pour overs rather than
Yes.
coffee grounds and water.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
right.
And with the benefit of another day
Yeah,
of
that's
aging. Okay, so this is roasted to 430, and you roast it to what for Harmony?
4:30.
Oh, so it's the same.
Yeah.
But we've just never tasted it on its own.
Yeah, I think we did it like a 420 before, and then I think we wanted to push the Ethiopia darker together, so we put them both at 430.
Okay.
When I roast them together. Digging the smell.
Beef taquitos. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not serious.
Oh my god.
Dog.
I was trying to preempt Crystal to say something ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. Beef taquitos.
I was like, oh, somebody else said that.
Still your thunder.
So, for anyone cupping at home and when you first try, do you have any tips on how to do the slurp without choking every single time?
You gotta control it with your lips.
And you have to just go full send when you just try to just keep the back of your lips tight.
Yeah, back lips tight, because your tongue and the side of your mouth will like guard it from like going down your airway.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with your lungs. It's just like right here. So just the
Back of your
don't-
lips.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's not like inhaling it.
There's one drop that hits the back of my throat every single time.
Yeah, I know.
One drop.
I'm getting there's a reason it's in harmony. Let's just put it that way.
I'm getting kind of a fruit leather vibe.
Fruit leather.
Yeah.
Zoe loves those.
Maybe she would love this coffee. We should have Zoe taste it when she wakes up from her nap.
This is another honey process.
She's probably awake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. This was our first honey process. That's why
This
we
is
were a little bit reticent to pull the trigger on the Honduras.
Our first heartbreak.
Yes.
I think the Ethiopia tames this.
Mm.
You know, like taste it, and it really starts to like round up towards the end before it goes away, and it's kind of unpleasant, at least to me. But then the Ethiopia,
Gives it a touch of class.
yeah, right at the end, it's like, yo, get back, harmonized.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Well, at least there's no weeping and gnashing of teeth that we've been missing out on
Yeah.
a single origin.
I'm
right
actually kind of
before our
glad,
eyes.
right, that
Yeah.
it confirms our suspicions
Right.
as opposed to going months with a
guys are noobs.
Yeah,
You get a winner, you don't even know it.
Yeah, exactly. This confirms.
It's just odd how highly recommended this came. Because I would say that, okay, sure, taste is somewhat subjective. At the same time, there are really high-level coffees, very unique, interesting flavors, and then there are ones that are just, they're not as interesting. They just aren't. There's nothing in the bean that you can bring out that makes them super interesting. So even if I didn't personally, it wasn't my favorite, I would expect something that came really highly recommended to be super unique in some way.
Yeah.
This to me is not super unique.
No.
So it's just weird that it's so highly recommended.
What do you guys think?
Want to try it as an espresso shot?
Everything espresso.
It's probably highly recommended because it's not that unique.
Mm.
It's like safe. Like, you won't go wrong. You can't go wrong with it. If it's too unique, then some people will really like it, and others will not really like it.
Well, okay, here's the weird part to give you a little bit more context. These we picked partially on they rank the acidity, body, and sweetness. These were high, above average high, like in the high range. And that I would say that was reflected in the Honduras and they're just very interesting tasting. This was all highs. High. That's why I was a little bit taken aback, a little bit surprised, because I could understand why a roaster might choose to include this in their lineup as a safe route, but just according to the way that it was scored, I just expected wow, high acidity, high sweetness, and high body. You're like, wow, this must be an extraordinary coffee, and you just roast it, and yeah, not bad, but just not reflected in the taste. Odd. But yeah, very good in harmony. So
Charlotte says Harmony's like the best pour over blend she's ever had.
Yeah, it's been a great daily driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Has some nice boldness too.
Yeah. I think it just hits all the right things as your middle of the road, good cup of coffee.
Once we run through the Sidamo and the Ponte, it's going to be interesting how to recreate it, keep it going.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it's sustainable to recreate it with this Columbia.
Yeah.
For what its rating is, it's tough to keep it going in a blend.
Right. It's like a snapshot in time.
Yeah.
More than most other blends.
So I'm saying, let's enjoy it while we have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Los Hermanos will be back before we recreate this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the frustrating part of coffee and the exciting part about coffee. It's frustrating because when you have something that you really like, you want it to last forever, and you just want to be able to, I can revisit that a year or 2 years from now, no problem. But you can't. On the other hand, that's what makes it exciting, because you could even the Bali, you've gotten it 3 times now, and every time it's been a little bit different.
Yeah, slightly different. Mm-hmm.
Similar enough to still be enjoyable to people that like it, but different enough to where you can definitely taste the difference in the batches.
So it sounds like the moral of the story Parousia Coffee is teaching us today is to live in the moment.
There you go. Tomorrow's never promised, folks. Yeah.
I feel like you need to swish your mustache.
Yeah.
Anything else while we are here? Any final thoughts?
My head's just spinning.
Yeah.
The caffeine, I can be honest with you, it's just like...
Feel it in your temples?
Yeah, all right. Caffeine buzz. No, I guess super excited that these 2 new coffees are great single origins. Do a little bit more of experimenting, but it'll be available for purchase and featured as pour-overs. It's going to be nice to have another option as a single origin for pour-over at the farmer's market.
Yeah.
So right now it's either Bali or we've been really pushing people towards Harmony because it's also
It's
great.
good daily, yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be nice to do some comparison and contrasts as well. before when we had the single origins, we asked, well, do you lean more towards this? Do you lean more towards that? And then could have kind of a unique pour over situation for them. Right now, it's just like, yep, harmony is what it is. You know,
Yeah.
that's what you're getting. So I'm excited about that.
Okay, so just to reiterate, it's a honey processed Honduras. The name is, well, it's got a long name, but Manos de Mujer, hands of the women.
Yes.
What is the full name? Is there any other part of that name?
No, I don't think so. I mean, they acknowledge their ranking, the CAMSA protocol, which
Okay.
is just specific to Honduras.
Okay. Yeah, so there's that one, the Honduras. That will be coming.
Bro, that's long. You got that?
Okay, yeah. Organic Honduras, CAMSA, which is the ranking system, in quotes, Manos de Mujer. Honey, SHG, which is strictly high grown, referring to the elevation that it was grown at.
Yep.
Fair trade, and then in parentheses, GP. That's the full title.
Wow.
If you're just a
In
customer,
Parousia, it's called Hondo.
yeah, Hondo. Just say that, and
Say
we'll know
that,
exactly
we'll
what you
know.
mean. Okay, so that's the Honduras that will be available, and then Tanzania is the new offering for
Our
our
African.
African. Yes,
Mhm.
thank you. So Tanzania AA, referring to the size
And the highest quality.
and the highest quality. Northern Mondule Estate, GP.
Yeah.
So that's the Tanzania that we've got coming your direction.
It's pretty cool when you can trace it down to the estate.
Yes.
Yeah.
True that. And new bags have been ordered. So by the time you order these, you'll probably be receiving it in a new Parousia bag.
Let's hope.
Let's hope.
Otherwise, you'll be receiving it in a Ziploc bag. We'd never do that.
That's great.
Laugh nervously.
Awesome.
Okay. Until next time. Adios.